Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's call with Congressman Shri Thanedar. Now, during this call, we'll be taking questions from constituents like you. To ask a question, please press *3 on your telephone keypad to enter the question queue. Someone from our staff will take down your name and where you're calling from. Then the next time you hear your name, you will be live on the call and can ask your question. Tonight, you can also sign up for our newsletter by pressing *6. So again, please press *3 if you have a question you'd like to ask, or *6 to subscribe to our newsletter. And with that, I'll turn it over to Congressman Tandahar. Congressman, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I am excited to have this dialogue today. And I want to thank those of you who stayed online, joined us tonight, and many of you are here on the phone. So it is exciting. Good evening to all of you. And we're going to have some conversation. Anytime you have a question, just press *3 and you will be able to connect with my staff here, and that way we can get your question answered in line. It is very, very important that I hear from you. I want to hear what's on your mind. This is not a monologue. I am just here to listen, give you a little bit of feedback on what is going on in Washington, D.C. Again, my name is Congressman Shri Thanedar, and you can call me Shri. And I'm coming to you from Detroit, my home in Detroit. I'm home this time. We don't have a congressional session going on this week, so I stayed home. I went today to a small business forum. This is August is the Black Small Business Month. I was one of the congressmen who put that resolution, co-sponsored that resolution to call this a Black Small Business Month, because it's important that we promote entrepreneurship, we promote business ownership among all people, including African Americans and the Black and Brown community, who historically been marginalized and did not had the same opportunity to own businesses, create net worth. And that is what one of my focus is, to bring entrepreneurship to those who previously did not had access to, ability to, or had the opportunity to own their own business. So that is one of the things we want to talk about. How do we get into business? How do we get advantage of the Small Business Administration and various services the Small Business Administration offers? Anytime, Dirk, anytime there is a question, remind me or interrupt me, please, because I'm excited to hear from people, hear from my constituents. As you know, I represent the city of Detroit and the downriver communities, the Grosse Pointe communities, Hamtramck, Highland Park, Lincoln Park, Allen Park, Taylor, Michigan. I think I have the most diverse district in Michigan, and I love my district. I love my district, all of the diversity in my district, economic diversity, racial diversity. There is just so much about the 13th district that I love. And the sports venues in downtown Detroit, the theater district, just about everything about this district. I live in this district. I live at 7 Mile and Woodward. So I'm right in the middle of this district and middle of this beautiful city we call Detroit.
All right, Congressman. We certainly we're right now screening calls to make sure that we have a name and the location they're calling from. And as again, anyone who's joined us on the call, if you have a question you'd like to ask, please go ahead and press *3 on your telephone keypad. Again, *3 gets you into the question queue to speak live to your congressman. *6 gives you an opportunity to join the congressman's newsletter. So again, if you have a question, please press *3. If you'd like to subscribe to the congressman's newsletter, please press *6. And let's go ahead and talk with Marie out in Taylor. Marie, you are live on the call. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Marie. How are you?
Hi, Senator. Hi, Mr. Congressman. I love what you've been doing all your life, and I'm very pleased and I'm very proud of your personality, really. And I would like to meet you in person because I have many different ideas for you to share it, and maybe you will understand what I will tell you after.
Please go ahead. I would love to meet you too. And when next time we are in Taylor, Michigan, we'll let you know. But tell me what's on your mind.
It's about medical stuff because I am a therapist. I do reflexology, crystal healing, and I have studied many different things about therapies. I heal people in many different ways to be in a good way, to not have any kind of disease, these kind of things. And I have something in my mind, but I don't want to share it for everybody because it's personal. It's very critical things. It's very huge also at the same time.
All right. So if it is personal, then you know what I suggest you do is you can go to our website. That's my last name is Thanedar. So thanedar.house.gov, and there is a contact page. If you go there and send a message, then it only goes to one of my staff member, and he can bring that to me, and then we can reach out to you. I think thanedar.house.gov. So that would be the best way if you have something personal, or if you have a problem either with IRS or Social Security or Medicare, any kind of issues you have with the federal government, come to us.
Yes, but just only I wanna share it with you in person because I don't wanna give my my stuff like to read it in front of everybody because it's very big, really.
Okay,
when you have time, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, reach out to write your information, and I will call you. So just write your information at thanedar.house.gov and give me your contact information. I will be happy to call you personally.
All right,
we can talk.
Moving on, Congressman. We've got Roy in Detroit joining us now. Roy, welcome to the call. Please go ahead with your question.
Hi, Congressman Roy Adams on this end. I'm in downtown Detroit, living in the Hemmerholz building. We've talked to you before.
Yes.
Asking, can you come and be with us physically? You're in town now. Is there a day
I am in town now. Yes.
Talk with us?
Yes. I know one of my staff, Jack, was in contact with you all, and he did stop by. But I will be happy to. I understand the issues my staff did tell me about. So let us set up a meeting, and then we can come down. I can come down there, and we can have a roundtable discussion. We can just have a conversation.
Yes. Excuse me, interrupt you. Can you set up? How do I contact? I can go down to Monroe. Is that your headquarters down there, and set up a meeting, or what?
Yeah.
How do you want to
Talk to Jack. Talk to Jack in my office. He knows about the situation at your location. He has studied it. He has been there in the past. So you can talk to Jack or call my office on Monroe Street. And he can help you. You can also go to our website, thanedar.house.gov.
Yeah, I know about the
And
website, but what I'm looking at is your availability to come down to the building itself, and sit with us and all the people that live here and fight with us in order that we can stay here. Now, are you willing to do
yeah,
that?
I am willing to do that. I'm more than willing to do that. So just, I will, I know where your building is, and I know my staff knows. So we'll just schedule a time to come there. But if you want to call my office and talk to Jack, please do so tomorrow, and I will
Thank you
be
for
there. Yeah, I'll be
thank you
there.
very much for
Look,
the call,
look,
Roy.
yeah, look, this, Roy, this is a good point. Uh, we are seeing this all over Detroit, where living conditions in senior homes are really terribly bad, and a lot of times maintenance issues that I'm finding in senior homes. And we want to make sure that the seniors are treated with respect, and that the housing management keeps up with the maintenance, and there are safe environment, safe the elevators are operating, is there is cleanliness. I've heard about pest and mold and all kinds of issues with senior housing. And seniors have a right to live with dignity and respect. And any landlords that are misusing or using such tactics, either a part of gentrification or part of trying to drive people out of their residential area so they can make more money, will not be tolerated. So if you have concerns about your living condition, if you have concerns that the you've been rent is going up excessively, uh, health issues in your residential area, reach out to my office, please, and I will get on top of that.
Next, we're heading out to Lincoln Park. We've got Michael
Ah,
joining us on the line. Michael, you are
yes.
live with Congressman. What is your question?
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for doing this. You guys called me and I just hit the button. I didn't even know you were doing these. So I just found out about these and I think they're a great tool. So obviously last week we got killed with rain
Yes.
2 days in a row, and these 100, 500 year, whatever you call them, rain events seem to be happening every few years. And of course, our infrastructure can't keep up. I was just wondering if anything's being looked into on the federal level when it comes to maybe funding or contracts or any plans to, try to upgrade the infrastructure here in the district to kind of mitigate the risk of this flooding. I know that, if you get 5 inches in an hour, flooding's inevitable. But if anything's being done to mitigate, flooding from lesser rainfalls.
Yes, absolutely. This is a common occurrence, more common than we would want to. And you're right. Just about every year we have flooding issues. We lose power. Our infrastructure, our power grid is very, very old. Historically, for decades, we have not invested. Michigan has not invested in its electric grid, in its power structure, just like we haven't invested in our roads and bridges. And we recently passed the Infrastructure Act, and we have allocated $1.3 trillion to improve America's infrastructure. And we have allocated approximately $10 billion for the state of Michigan. So I am working with the Energy Secretary and Transportation Secretary to release those dollars, federal dollars, to our district so we can get the work done. Right now, two issues. One is that we don't have enough workers and contractors to take care of this. So that is one of the drawback. Also, we are working with DTE and the energy company and urging the energy company to invest more of its dollars into improving the infrastructure, because we can't afford to have power outage. Our kids depend on the electricity for their education, for their homework. Our small businesses depend on reliable power and reliable internet and broadband services. So this frequent outage of power is hard on the seniors, safety issues, and we can't have this happening every year like this. And the solution, the answer to that is upgrading our aging electric grid, aging infrastructure. And we have the money, finally. We've been talking about it for decades and decades that America's aging infrastructure need to be invested and improved. But only recently Congress is able to do something about it. We have the money now. We are trying to get that into the district and improve our electric grid so that we don't have to deal with this power outage so frequently that we have been doing in the past few years.
But before going to our next caller, I'd like to remind everyone you can stay connected with Congressman Thanedar by subscribing to his newsletter. Please press *6 to get subscribed. And with that, let's go to our next caller. We've got James in Detroit joining us now. James, you're live. Go ahead with your question. Hello, James. Are you there, sir? I think we might have lost James. We'll see if we can get him back. We'll go ahead and move next to Melissa in Detroit. Melissa, you are live on the call. What's on your mind?
Hello, Congressman.
Hi,
Hello,
Melissa.
Congressman. Hi, Congressman.
Hi, Melissa. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. I just wanted to tell, and it's going back to the infrastructure issue. I've lived in the downtown Detroit area in the Black Bottom area for quite some time. I've been a resident here and in actually a condominium complex that has been here for the past 50 years. So similar to, we have a lot of seniors that live around here, but I'm finding the infrastructure with the phone usage, Wi-Fi, broadband is very, very bad and comparable to other suburban areas. And I don't understand, because we do have a lot of companies that are moving down to the downtown area that I know are not feeling the same pain that we're feeling right now, because they can afford to put in their fiber optic cables and whatnot. But I want to know, with this infrastructure bill that you said it was $1.3 billion that has actually passed on the federal level, is that $10 million that's coming to the state of Michigan?
10 billion. And the bill was $1.3 trillion.
Brilliant.
1.3 trillion.
Okay, I got my numbers.
For the entire United States. I think the Michigan's share is a little over $10 billion.
As far as us as residents seeing some progress, because like I said, my area has been living with this for quite some time, and it goes along with the infrastructure with the flooding and whatnot. But cable usage, Wi-Fi, broadband, it's very unaffordable for us to increase it as residents. Well, we're relying on companies that are really gouging us right now. So that's my question. What exactly is the next step to see some results?
The next step is to keep the pressure up on corporations. We want to make sure that corporations, aren't they are not putting their profits over people. And my job as a congressman, my job as your representative is to ensure that that we do that. Is ensure that we do that. And that's what we'll do. We'll keep the pressure up. Also, we need to bring the dollars, federal dollars, to the district. So I wrote a letter to the administration trying to get more money for uh, improving electric grid. We already have some money in the Infrastructure Act. We are trying to bring manufacturing to America through the CHIPS Act. So work is being done, but we need to keep focusing on improving the infrastructure. In this day and age, everybody should have access to broadband internet. Internet is like oxygen, it's like water. We all need that. Our children need that. Our businesses need high-powered, high-speed internet. And we have allocated the money. Now it's making sure the money gets to the district. We find the contractors, workers. Right now, we have a huge shortage of skilled workforce to get things done. But that's what I am working on and fighting for.
All right, for everyone that's on the call with us, the technology that we're using this evening allows us to poll questions. This is an opportunity where we get to hear from you and your thoughts. So I'm going to ask a poll question. Please use your telephone keypad to register your vote/opinion. And so here we go with the poll question. Are you financially better off today than a year ago? Please press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. So again, we're looking for everyone that's on the call to use their telephone keypad to answer this question. Are you financially better off today than a year ago? Please press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. See a number of people submitting their response. Thank you very much for participating in our first poll question of the evening. Now let's get back to the live Q&A. We've got Charles in Detroit joining us. Charles, you are live on the call. Please go ahead with your question.
Hello, Congressman Shri Thanedar. My question is about solar power. Is there anything you can do to help homeowners in the 7 Mile Woodward area to get solar power for their home?
Yes, we do. And, recently passed bills in Congress create special incentives. The climate crisis is a real crisis. And we need to work on access to clean energy. Certainly solar, wind power, all of these are things that we need to encourage. We have special incentives for electric vehicles. We have special incentives to equip with solar power. And if you reach my office, we will give you some information on that. Also, I want to stress a lot of this information, we send it out regularly through e-newsletters. My office does a great job of sending out e-newsletter that has a lot of useful information, how to get government grants, how to take advantage of money that's available for home improvement. There is information on getting good skills training. So I request all of you, my humble request to all of you is, press *6 and register to receive our newsletter. If you cannot do that with *6, and speaks very slowly, your email address, so we get your email address right. The other thing you could do also is go to my website, thanedar.house.gov, and there is a button you can click and subscribe for my newsletter. But we give you a lot of good information. It's not just any kind of marketing thing. It's about giving information to you about the bills that are being passed. Or sometime, like right now, we have debt ceiling issues. And we know the other side is trying to play politics with it, and people's lives are at stake. People's jobs are at stake. Federal workers could lose their monthly, paycheck, and could be a hardship on the family. Seniors would have difficulty getting their social security checks. So we cannot afford to shut down our government. And before September 30th, we need to pass those appropriations, the budget bills. We have 12 of those. All of those need to be passed so that the government can continue to operate and we can keep the paychecks, the social security checks, the federal employees, all of that being paid. And we won't have hardship on those hardworking men and women that work for the federal government. So that's one of the things on my mind. In about a week, I'll be going back to Washington, D.C., and we are going to I just wrote a letter, signed on to a letter to the Speaker of the House, urging him to not play politics on people's lives and get the budget passed in an expedited manner so that the president can sign that and we can keep the government going and keep the paychecks coming and keep the social security checks coming. So again, *3 if you have a question, *6 if you want to subscribe to my newsletter.
Congressman, next up, we've got Loretta in Detroit joining us. Miss Loretta, you are live. Go ahead with your question.
Thank you for taking my call. How is everyone?
I'm good. I'm glad you joined us. I know this is dinner time. I keep thinking we should be doing this earlier or later because we may be interrupting people's dinner time here. But thanks for joining us. What's your name? Yeah.
Thank you. But my question is about for entrepreneurs and small businesses. Do you have grants in place? I know you have loans in place that they can take out, but I'm not looking at for people going into debt to start a business. I'm looking for grants for people to start a business. That's what I want to know. Do you have government grants in place that
yes, we do.
small
Yes,
business
we do.
can apply
yes, we do.
for?
Yes, we do. We
Okay.
have a number of programs. We have city-based programs. Some of them give you like $50,000 grant, the Motor City grant. We have state-based programs, and we have also federal programs, small micro loans or small grants that you could get. So there are a number of programs. There is a location in Detroit called Tech Town that you could visit. You can also visit our office on 400 Monroe Street or go to my website, thanedar.house.gov. But a lot of help is available. This afternoon, I was with the Small Business Administrator, Director of Small Business, Ms. Henderson, and she and I were talking to many African American entrepreneurs, as this is a Black Small Business Month, which I sponsored that resolution. So there is just so much to do here, and so much is available. And please reach out to the Small Business Administration's office in downtown Detroit and speak with Miss Henderson. Tell her that I sent you there, and she will talk to you about the various small business programs that are available for people to start their own businesses.
So our next caller is Gretchen in Grosse Pointe. Gretchen, welcome to the call. You're live with Congressman Thanedar. What's your question?
Well, thank you very much for taking my call, and thank you for hosting this this opportunity to speak with you. None of us lives in a vacuum. I realize that, and so it is a very much an approach to everything because everybody has a need. I found the question interesting about whether I'm better off this year than I was last year, and I said no, I'm not. But as my as my buying power seems to diminish, I'm concerned about what we can do for some kind of equity among the variety of income levels that we have for access to things that are very important, whether it's energy, affordable energy, or affordable groceries or whatever. All that aside, and I apologize for being so wordy, it seems to me that our biggest issue facing America is parity in education, and for our young people to have basic educational needs met. And I think we're woefully inadequate on that, whether it is urban centers or rural educational facilities. We just are not putting the money into education of our young people. And I don't know how we're ever going to get better as a country if we don't put more money into education, parity in education. What you've done on that front.
Yeah, Gretchen, I totally agree with you. You know, I grew up in poverty, and you know, and fortunately, when I was able to get some of my early education without cost, and the public help in getting free public education was so critical for me to be able to lift myself and my family out of poverty. And the education helped me where I am today. And I am a big proponent of free 2-year community college, which we done so in Michigan for large part. But I believe that the 4-year college, or those who do not want to go to college, which is okay, not everybody has to and want to go to college. But if the people want to get good trade skills, so they can get good paying jobs, the trade skills training or 4-year college should be cost free. That's the best investment we can do, especially people that are at the bottom, lower end of the economic scale. We want to make sure that they get education. Anybody who wants to get trade skills, trade education, anybody who wants to get to 4-year college should be able to get to it without incurring a high cost or having to take on loans that they will then pay rest of their life. That just not is fair. And I think it makes more economic sense if we invest in people by helping them get the education. I think that's the best thing we could do for America's economy. That's the best thing we can do to create jobs in America. And that's the compassionate thing to do. So Christian, you bring out a great question. It's something very close to my heart. And that's how I was able to overcome poverty because of good education. And education needs to be free, and education needs to be accessible.
Well, Congressman, with that idea, let's go ahead and put that to the people. Yet another poll question, and it's right on topic. So again, everyone that's listening in on this call, please use your telephone keypad to give us your response. How important is free 4-year college education? Please press 1 for very important, press 2 for somewhat important, press 3 for not important. So again, we're looking to you, everyone that's listening in on this call, to use your telephone keypad and register your vote here. So how important is free 4-year college education? Very important, please press 1. Somewhat important, please press 2. Not important, please press 3. The number of people are registering their opinion. Thank you very much for participating in this poll question. And let's get back to the live Q&A. And we've got Milton in Detroit joining us now. Milton, welcome to the call. You are live with Congressman Thanedar.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, Milton. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I just want to see how can we help with the homelessness downtown Detroit with housing or some type of funding to just help them even with medical bills and housing. Do we have a plan for that?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And nobody should be homeless. Everybody needs to have a roof over their head. We've seen a lot of homelessness among veterans. A lot of mental illness among veterans, and that is something that we need to address. We just did the PACT Act, and we're trying to bring resources. We have several resources in the Detroit area for homeless people to come in and take shelter, and we need to have more. I think currently we still need more housing, temporary housing, so people can live there and get back on their feet, get the skill set that they need so they can get good paying jobs and live a respectable and dignified life. People who are in transition have issues. There was a time when I was in school, could not afford an apartment, and I slept in my car, and at times I slept in public buildings. So I understand the struggles people that are homeless have. And we have a number of programs, federal programs, city programs, and state programs, but not enough. There's more homeless people still struggling through. And in a nation as rich as ours, United States is the richest nation in the world. And I really bothers me to see people do not have a place to live, call their home, and that needs to change. We have done some. We continue to work on it. We continue to provide home to the veterans who are homeless. We continue to provide, create shelters, temporary housing, but we need more.
Heading out now to Grosse Pointe Farms, we've got Kevin joining us. Kevin, welcome to the call. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, hi, thanks. Thanks, Shri, for putting on this town hall. I appreciate it. This is a good way to outreach to your constituents. My question was mostly concerning the political climate in the House of Representatives right now, given the small majority lead of the Republicans. And it seems like, they're flung pretty far to the right side, and their main motive for activity is trying to defend Trump. And, throughout all of his indictments and whatnot. And, my thing is, unless we stop these people from, counteracting whatever bills you guys propose to benefit the people, none of it's going to fly, in my eyes, until, these people either have to step down or somehow the climate has to change. I don't know. Of course, the voters have to decide to, who their representatives are going to be. But I just want to know what, like, your actions and maybe some of your fellow Democratic congressmen are taking to, like, counterattack. What I see is these right-wing nut jobs that are in Congress right now.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Kevin, you bring a good point. Point. There is, there's about 10 or 15 of the extreme people that have held this Speaker of the House hostage. And, there's a lot of cultural wars, when we need to deal with bringing manufacturing back to the United States. We need to deal with the rising cost and prices and rising inflation. We need to really deal with education, making education accessible. As opposed to, there is a lot of cultural war, creating issues to divide people, as opposed to solving people's problems. And we certainly hope the next session of Congress, we would have better control of the United States Congress, so we can enact laws that would improve people's lives. We can address issues like education. We can address issues where we can, have better coverage for healthcare. A nation as rich as ours, it's a shame that 20, 30 million people don't have health insurance. People worried about that a major health crisis might drive them bankrupt. And that should not be happening in a nation as rich as ours. So we really need to solve the problems, people's problems. That's what you send me to Congress. That's what you send all of us to Congress. And we need to focus on that than fighting silly political wars, fighting, cultural wars. We need to really focus on solving problems. And that's what I want to do.
So don't forget, an opportunity is right now for you to press *6 and join the Congressman's newsletter. They send it out frequently to keep you updated on what the Congressman is doing for you. So to join, please press *6 on your telephone keypad. Now we're heading out to Detroit. We've got Sherelle on the line with us. Sherelle, welcome to the call. Go ahead with your question, please.
Hi, Congressman. I had a few questions. I want to touch bases on some of the questions that was already previously stated. With the infrastructure, with the power going out, my main concern is what are we going to do for the people who have to stay in hotels? DTE takes between 4 to 6 days. I myself have spent 8 days since we had both of the outages in hotels. Food was gone. And that's a lot of money, and still have to pay rent the first of the month, That was
Yes.
my first concern.
No, I agree with you. I think we need to, first of all, we need to fix this grid. Electric grid is so old, and we talk about a once in 500-year flood, but these problems happen every year. Every year we face this, and I'm working with DTE. I wrote a letter to them. I'm working with them to ensure that they need to invest some of their um, profits into improving these electric grids. We also have money coming in from federal government through the Infrastructure Act, the $1.3 trillion. But we need to invest. For decades, we have seen disinvestment into our roads and bridges and our infrastructure and our electric grid. And that's going to change now. Money's coming in. We have allocated the money. It's a matter of getting the workers to come. It's so hard to find labor nowadays, hard to find contractors, but we need to focus on that. And that's what I'm working on. I'm putting the pressure on DTE so that they continue to invest some of their profits into modernizing our electric grid.
Next up, we've got a question from Sonia in Detroit. Sonia, you are live with Congressman Thanedar. What is your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can, Sonia. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for this opportunity. There's a couple of things that I wanted to bring forth. We have a well-developing and growing Detroit. We're both with people that are returning, people that are starting anew. One thing that we don't do a very good job of is including the young people in the world of entrepreneurship. When we start, it's at the high school level, which is a little late. Getting high schoolers to focus on entrepreneurship. You do, however, at the elementary and middle school level, have young people that have been doing water or doing lemonade or baked goods, but once they leave that middle school, such as 7th grade time, and then they're entering into 9th grade or 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, it doesn't resurface until like 11th and 12th grade when opportunities are coming. What can we do, or what better job can we do to include our young people into the growth or mindset of being an entrepreneur and staying in the city that they were raised in and love? That's my question. Thank you.
Great question. You know, I am a serial entrepreneur myself. I grew up in poverty and got education, started a small business, grew the small business, created jobs in America. So I understand how important that is to be able to run your own business, build a net worth for yourself. And we need to continue to encourage. We need to tell, parents need to tell their children that they have an option to be an entrepreneur, be a business owner. We need to make seed capital available. There are communities, the Black and brown communities, who have been marginalized and historically. Remember the Black Bottoms in Detroit that destroyed, Black net worth to the tune of billions of dollars. Remember the Tulsa massacre, where Black businesses were destroyed. We need to reverse that. We need to make a level playing field. We need to educate and let our children know that they have a choice. They can, go to college and pursue academics or science or be a doctor or be an artist or a musician or a politician, or they could be a business owner, start their own business, whether they're baking or dry cleaner or manufacturing, technology businesses. All of those options should be available to our children. When I was in the State House, I brought in bills where I made it a point, one of my bill that I co-sponsored, specifically asked that our schools teach entrepreneurship to young kids, so that early in their mind, we create this opportunity, a career choice, that they could be business owners. And that's what we need to promote. We also need to promote and talk about role models. That's why I go around, talk to people about my experience of living in poverty, my experience about starting a small business, my experience of being an entrepreneur. And we need to continue to bring out people in the community, especially people in the Black and brown communities. For young people need to be able to see a young growing African American man or a woman need to be able to see role models that have succeeded and that have made it in the business world. And we need to bring those role models, talk about it. And that's some of the things we intend to do in Detroit through our own efforts. But we need to promote entrepreneurship. That's how we create jobs, and that's what we create net worth. Families can have generations of net worth through business ownership.
Moving on to our next caller, it's Ann in Detroit. Ann, welcome. Go ahead with your question.
My question was, with all the money that's being poured into Detroit, into Michigan, are we allowed to take some of that money and set up training programs to fill the gaps in the workmen that we need to do this work? It seems to me that that's one of the places we should start. And what can we do, and what kind of ideas do you have, Senator, where we can kind of jumpstart these kind of programs so that we can start supplying workers for the projects that are being done?
That is a very good question. I talk a lot about raising minimum wage to a living wage so people can live in dignity. But look, to really have a good family life, to be able to raise your family, pay your bills, educate your children, and enjoy your life and still have a little bit of money left over. You can do that only through skills training. There used to be a time when people could get out of high school and be able to get a good paying job and raise a family and live a good life. Not anymore. So we need to really focus on trade skills, journeymen, journeywomen, be able to use those trade skills to get a good paying job. And we have started and funded both at the state level and as well as federal level apprenticeship programs. I know a 19-year young man, he chose not to go to the college, and he came to the international trade, the Painters Association Union, and joined the program. It's a 3-year program. And after he graduated, he worked hard. And after he graduated, he got a job that paid about $70,000, 22-year-old man. So we need to create these, continue to create these apprenticeships, continue to create programs to learn. And one of my bill is a bipartisan bill that makes small businesses and academia and unions and nonprofits to collaborate to start apprenticeship programs so that our young people could have the skills that they need to be able to get good paying jobs. And those who want to go to 4-year college, fine, they should go, and we should make 4-year college affordable. But those who do not want to go to 4-year college but yet still want to raise their family, they should be able to go acquire the skills, trade skills, technology skills, whether they want to be an electrician, a plumber, or a technologist, a medical technologist, whatever they want to acquire, be able to get those skills and be able to get good paying jobs. And that's one of my focus as I serve on the Small Business Committee. And we are working on workforce development and creating and bringing dollars to the district so we can have these programs where young people can go get the training they need and get good paying jobs.
So, Congressman, looking at the clock, it looks like that's all the time we have for the question and answer portion of the call. But I want to make sure that we carve out just a couple of minutes for some parting thoughts from you, please.
Yeah, I think we, first of all, thank you for taking the precious evening time, your family time, to join us on this tele town hall. We'll keep doing this every month. I'm doing this more online than physically because it's hard for people. Not everybody has transportation. Not everybody can take half an hour to drive to a place. So that's really why I'm doing this. If you want me to do it in person, I'll be happy to do that in person. But this is the way we are able to talk to hundreds and thousands of people. We want to do this every month. I'm going to be available to you. Now, if I did not get a chance to answer your question, just go to my website, thanedar.house.gov. Go in the contact section, write down your question. One of our staff in downtown Detroit will reply back to you within 48 hours. So we are here to help your federal issues, Social Security issues. You didn't get your refund. My office helped get over $300,000 of tax refunds that people had trouble getting. Social Security, people come to us with passport questions. They have to go make international travel. Their child doesn't have a passport. We'll we'll help you with that. So if you have getting frustrated with the federal department because you can't get something done, Social Security benefits, any issues that you have with the federal government, come to us. And if you have a state or local issues, we'll direct you to the right people to go to, right offices to go to your representative in the state house or in the city council. But call us, write to us, thanedar.house.gov, and we are here to help. And I was running a big business, and I decided to get rid of my business because I felt that, I got so much help to achieve my American dream. I want to go help others. And that's why I stopped my business and decided to run for public office so I can help others achieve their American dream. So we are here to help. I truly appreciate the trust that you put in me. You send me to Washington, D.C. to represent you, to work for you. And I have never forgotten my roots, where I came from, the hardship that I dealt, and I understand the hardship my constituents have. And I am here to work for you, fight for you, and I serve at your pleasure. I serve because you sent me here. I serve because you voted for me. And I'll continue to do that, and I'll continue to listen to you. So if you have a concern, you need me to do something differently, need me to work on some issues, you can write to me 24/7, thanedar.house.gov. I thank you. I love you. I love my district. I love city of Detroit. I love the Downriver, the Grosse Points, Hamtramck, Lincoln Park, Allen Park, Taylor, Michigan, Romulus, every part of my district, the diversity of our district. I love. I love the people. I'm going to be around. You will see me around. If you need me to come to a particular event, again, go to my website, a request and I'll show up. I'm there for you. So don't forget to reach us, subscribe to my newsletter. You can press *6 now, or just go to my website and there is a button that says subscribe to newsletter. And that way we can keep you informed about what's going on. This is Shri Thanedar, your congressman. I'm here to serve you. I am here to fight for you. I'm here to listen to you. So please tell me what's on your mind. We'll be coming to you like this with a teletown hall every month. And please make sure to join us.
Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight's telephone town hall with Congressman Thanedar. Now, if you'd like to subscribe to our e-newsletter and have not had the opportunity to talk with a staff member yet, as we're closing the call, the *6 won't work. But there's a very simple method you can perform, and that's just wait for the tone and then leave us your name and email address right after that tone. So again, right now as we're wrapping up this call, just wait for the tone and give us your name and email address, and please spell it out slowly so we can get you subscribed for the Congressman's e-newsletter. Thanks again for your time this evening. We hope you stay healthy and safe and have a great night.